Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for that adoption.
Well, thank you for going to all our work getting it done.
Yeah, that's great.
Make sure to point out to Corey you got one through. He thinks he has a 0 batting average. He left before we could say, hey, you got one through.
Oh, the Parish Creek?
Yeah, he never gets anything through. He complains vociferously about that.
Okay, we're back online after our break. Congratulations to Lisa on the fee schedule work and her minion Spencer. Deanna, you're without a minion, so. Mayor's report is next up. On the Utopia, I attended the UIA board meeting. Financials continue to improve. They did, every year they're doing an analysis with a net promoter score. For those of you in marketing, net promoter is a rating of how often or how likely your customer is to recommend the service to somebody else. And according to Utopia's measurements, we're by far the highest rated and internet service in terms of net promoter score. They're going to provide those stats to all the city council and what it means. A surprisingly large number of people are finding out about the service from the municipality rather than from other sources. They're getting their information or their trust their city. And now I just lost the my notes here. One moment while it refreshes. We discussed the there is still an intent to go out and bond for additional what's additionally left under the previous city council approvals. That's expected to be executed in November, but voted on in September or October. I, of course, made my customary push that we should try to use delay that as long as possible, use funds that we have rather than borrowing more funds so we don't keep large amounts in the bank that we're paying interest on. Other than that, I don't think there was, the only other news was they finally reported on the final upgrades to the new building. If any of you would like, you should go out and take a tour of it. It's an improved building in Murray. I should send out the address. I don't have it, but they're happy to give you a tour. They ended up, I think, higher than anticipated for the remodel costs, which will surprise no one, especially those of us going through remodels right now. But there will still be significant savings due to paying rent to themselves rather than paying rent to somebody else. I think that was all I had for that update. I don't know if George has anything to add.
I was unable to attend the Utopia board meeting, but the financials speak for themselves. Still the same flatline curve.
As far as the fire service, I don't have an update other than what we gave last meeting, that the board voted to move forward. And the next step is to bring to you to do a more detailed analysis or design of a Main Street fire station, come back with changes that might be needed to accommodate a public safety building in that area. And so we'll be working with staff on that and coming back to you with some requests there. That's
so can I ask a question about that fire, and this is primarily on the old property, so this may not be where I ought to bring that up. I've had some complaints from citizens that the $490,000 selling price for Shoup seemed extremely low.
Right. If they'd like to make another offer,
well, the question was it even advertised? And people are saying it wasn't advertised. And
yes, Mr. Scablin would like us to go out to bid. I heard that.
This wasn't from Scablin, it was from others, but okay.
You could go out to bid. I'm not sure that's the most effective way, but it was advertised with local commercial real estate agents. We did not put a sign up. And
Well, I think it is very germane for, I'd like to be able to say, well, you may not know that it was advertised because they didn't think most homeowners were going to be in a position to buy it, but it was, you know, so that's part of my question.
But we didn't list a realtor, you just
We didn't-
contacted a few realtors and told them you were interested.
Correct. We told them we're not paying realtor fees, but if you have clients who are interested,
So it wasn't really listed or advertised?
it was not listed, correct.
When I spoke to the chief, he said the building appraisal was 505. So
That's correct. So and happy to share that building appraisal.
No, that's fine. I'd like to be able to respond to knowing the process as opposed to needing to know a whole lot of details.
I agree. It was an informal process, as we didn't want to formally advertise it until we had other land under contract for fear of spiking the price of something else. So it was done on a less formal basis, absolutely. But I think there's a very good chance that Shoot backs out. Obviously they will back out if you don't approve the change, because the offer's conditioned on that.
Okay.
And there were probably 3 or 4 folks that came and toured it, and 2 that said they were going to make serious offers. Shoop's was the best.
So were there other offers then?
There was another offer. I had to check with the chief if it was a formal written offer or not. And I've had, maybe 5 other inquiries, but none of them that went far enough to say, yeah, I'm willing to put money on it. Okay, next, Councilman Inst, report on Citizen Corps and emergency management.
We have 2 major activities that are in process. You have included in your package a letter that went to the 4 stake presidents for the September activity, which we are pursuing. I have endorsement from 3 of the stake presidents, not from the 4th. I would encourage everyone to ask about it so that the pressure comes from both directions. It is a shelter-in-place drill trying to help people do personal planning. We are doing something completely different. If you've read the letter, it's on a Monday evening, which normally is forbidden, but we've specifically said it will not involve any activity outside of people's homes. This is to get people to think about what they need to be doing to prepare themselves. You have a copy of the package that I handed out to all of the reps, and different people are doing different things with it. The other activity is that there is a CERT team competition. We have 7 of the cities in Davis County who have agreed to participate. We are one of them. Team is 10 people. It will take place on October 7th at Job Corps. There is a very spectacular trophy, which is one of my responsibilities through the community corps that I'm putting it together. It is about 37 inches tall. It is meant to be a traveling trophy. Thank you. A traveling trophy. So there will be a plaque on it for the city who wins it each year, and that CERT competition is designed to take place in alternate years to the county emergency fair, or the South Davis Emergency Fair.
Awesome.
And Jake, I assume Jake will help you promote this via our Twitter, Facebook.
that'll be what, the spring?
No, I was thinking the shelter in place.
The shelter in place, I need to get to him so that we can do it right now because it's September 18th. The other one is October 7. That's much more just through the community core people and the CERT group that's participating.
And do you have people signed up to participate?
I've got about half of the team at this point. If you'd like to participate, we'd love to have you. So, and I'd love to see Centerville's name on it. One of the things that we're going to do, because I will have custody of it, I will probably bring it so people can see it at a council meeting. We're going to try to use it to inspire some additional participation around the county. I'd like to get it to as many council meetings as I can just to show people.
And what, is it an all-day or morning, or what's the? I mean, they usually
8,
take a couple hours, but
8 until 1. It includes, I was successful in getting the biggest donation that we got. We got $1,500 from Union Pacific. I guess that's not totally true. We also got a grant through the state, which is $3,000, and so there will be no registration fee on the teams. We're providing awards and rewards, breakfast and lunch. So hopefully it'll be a great event. If anybody has time on that Saturday morning and would like to come to observe, we'd love to have additional observers.
and do you have Job Corps doing the victims and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I'm so tempted. I have to ask permission.
And I have not done much with Chamber of Commerce. That's it, unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you. Steve? Just several brief items, two of which are shown here. Proposed work session with the Youth Council on September 19th, where they provide the dinner, and then you have them share their plans for the year and engage in discussion with you. Any objection to that on prior to the regular council meeting on September 19th? Okay. And then the proposed date of the employee Christmas party, Christmas dinner would be Wednesday, December 6th, the night after your regular council meeting. Wednesday, that'd be okay, as far as you know?
What was that again?
December 6th.
December 6th.
December 6th, Wednesday, December 6th. The water main project on Main Street, I've been told this week that the water main portion of the city's project, the portion in front of the junior high will be done before they start school next week. There still be work further south to be done, down through Pages Lane and beyond. But there will be some irrigation company, this, if you might recall, this contractor's doing two pieces of work. One is improvements on our water system, and the other is the irrigation system with Dual Creek. And so there will be some work on the Dual Creek irrigation system on the west side of Maine in front of the junior high at some point after school starts. But that's the irrigation companies, not our water mains. I've become aware of a situation in Woods Cross that has engaged our Public Works Director in a meeting I wanted you to be aware of. Perhaps you've heard of subsidence of homes in Woods Cross. Quite a few homes in a particular part of the city due to the drawing down of the groundwater, the water table. And so the Woods Cross Public Works Director invited the Public Works Directors of the other cities in South Davis to a meeting where they wanted to explore whether other cities' wells, the drawdown in other cities' wells, were contributing to this issue beyond just their own wells in that part of the county. There are a number of wells over in the vicinity of that housing subdivision, none of ours. And Randy took analysis and maps, which made a good case that we don't believe we're contributing to their problem. So, but in case you've heard of this, I wanted you to be aware that we have engaged in conversations with them. They've engaged us in conversations, let me put it that way, to explore whether the use of our wells is a contributing factor. Randy believes strongly that it's not after the analysis he's done. He reviewed that briefly with me yesterday, and I don't see any reason to not agree with him. I think he's done a good job of reviewing that data from our own wells, showing them a map of the geology of the South Davis area, the lay of the land, et cetera, and he's fairly strongly convinced that we're not a contributing factor.
Do we anticipate Woods Cross coming back and saying we are?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, he represents that he thinks he convinced them that we're not.
Okay.
If that answers your question
Yes.
at this point. We did have my last item is just to mention that we had a meeting today with UDOT Region 1 in Ogden. We meaning 4 city staff and the landowners across the freeway of the area north that's currently undeveloped, where we want to eventually get the road extended and connected with Farmington. At the urging of the landowners, I arranged this meeting to try and get more answers and information about the wetlands issues and some guidance from UDOT as to how to best approach that with the Army Corps in order to get ultimately to our goal of getting an alignment that can be approved for that road. So those discussions have been reactivated. We had discussions 2 years ago, and it kind of got on the back burner, and the landowners have, in the meantime, over that 2 years, the landowners team has done a lot of study of the drainage and the wetlands, and has also engaged our staff in quite a bit of discussion of those issues, of drainage especially. But until recently, had not asked for an opportunity to go back to UDOT, but that was reactivated today. And UDOT is trying to help us as much as they can, but bottom line is that ultimately they will not do the permit work to get an alignment cleared, but they will deed to the city a corridor within the Legacy Parkway corridor for part of the distance, so that and then it has to, then the road would have to come through the private property and make its way eventually and tie in with 650 West in Farmington. So there's a lot of details there. I won't burden you with them now, but I want you to be aware that discussion has been reactivated and will consume considerable time of staff in the future. That's my report.
I've had one question from the community park area. Do we have a date when they're laying asphalt?
Bruce told me tomorrow.
Yeah, I was told by Randy and Kevin yesterday that this week they expected them to be paving over there.
Okay.
Yeah, the trail around the new area and the parking lot, and then within the next week over here as well,
Okay,
the museum.
All right, is there anything to bring up under miscellaneous business?
I have one short item. The Mosquito Abatement District has been tracking the spread of West Nile throughout the state. We don't have any human cases, but we do show positive pools in Farmington. So that does mean West Nile virus has been detected. There's a couple of them that are on the outliers, but tell your kids that's a real thing. West Nile is here. So it's not, it's been reported on the news, it's only down in Utah County, but it moves all the way across the state, and we're now showing it in Davis County in 5 or 6 places in North Salt Lake, at Woods Cross, and up in Farmington.
Does the mosquito abatement district have plans to do more of a public information campaign than they already have, or ask the cities to do anything else?
That's something I need to talk to Gary Hatch about relative to that. I'll give a formal report at a different date, but we're actually discussing a truth in taxation for the purposes of bringing a lab into Davis County, because right now samples are taken, they have to go to the Department of Health, but by the time we get the turnaround, effectively a week's gone by. So the ability to really go after a positive area in a time frame that's more timely than what we do now, we just don't have that capability. But as far as publishing the information, I'll talk to him about places we can do that. But I get a formal report that shows a map and shows where the pools are.
Serious concern, long term. I'm not aware of a need for a closed meeting. I do want to take action on a couple of appointments. I met with Leslie, or talked with Leslie Flowers and Matt Layton about the Parks Committee. We have a suggested solution that Matt, as the baseball liaison, attend the Parks Committee whenever he would like or whenever he can make time, but that Leslie be the official member of the Parks Committee. So I would I would like to appoint Leslie Flowers to the remainder of Melissa Smith's term on the Parks and Recs Committee, if I could get a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, we'll tell her that she's appointed.
I move that we adjourn before it's 10.
Second?
Second.
So just the
Aye.
one appointment,
Oh,
just the one appointment then?
Just the one
Okay.
appointment. I don't have any other appointments.
Okay.
I'm not aware of other vacancies that are
Okay.
urgent.
Okay.
So just appoint Leslie to that, and I spoke with Bruce that he's going to include Matt in communications
Right.
on the Parks Committee.
Right, that sounds like a good way to go.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.
All right.